Now in the last videos we studied about Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, and we also studied about how Lenz's law affects, how Lenz's law works, and how it follows the conservation of charge. Now in this video we are going to find out the value of induced current and induced charge. So here we can write that from Fleming's law we know that EMF is equal to minus d phi b by dt, negative of rate of change of magnetic flux. And if the coil has n number of turns, then we can write n. Now suppose the coil also has an area. Let us say the coil has area A, and this area is along the direction of B. It is along the direction of magnetic field. So in this case we know that flux, I'll write magnetic flux phi B, which is equal to BA cos theta. Since A and B are in the same direction, so theta will be 0, so cos theta will be 1, so magnetic flux will just be B into A. Now if you put this value of magnetic flux here, then EMF will come out to be dBA upon dt. Now that means we are differentiating magnetic field and area of the coil. Now let us say that because we know that area of the coil and magnetic field both cannot be constant, because if both are constant, then the differentiation of both will become equal to 0 and EMF will not be induced. And also it can be understood by basic concept that if magnetic field does not change and if area of coil also does not change and the direction is fixed, A is along B, then the magnetic field lines associated with the coil will also not change, and if they will not change, no current will be induced. Remember, electromagnetic induction works when B, A or direction they change. So that means one of them should change. So we can write that if, let us say, B is constant, we are not changing the magnetic field. So if B is constant, then A has to change. Then in that case our EMF will be equal to minus n. B is constant, so it will be taken out and we will differentiate the area. So this will happen when B is constant. Similarly, let us say B is not constant, B is changing, but A is constant. Let us say A is constant, then EMF will be equal to minus NA dB by dt. And we know that if both are constant, then no magnetic field lines will be associated with the coil, and the magnetic flux will be the induced EMF will be 0. So I'll just write it also here. If A and B are constant, if both of them are constant, then induced EMF will be equal to 0. Now let us say that the coil in which the current is induced, the coil has resistance R. Let the coil be of resistance R. Then in that case the current, the induced current, will be equal to EMF upon resistance. So it will be equal to this quantity divided by R. So I'll write minus N by R d phi B by dt. So this will be the value of induced current of a coil of resistance R. Now we know that the current is rate of flow of charge. We know that I equals to dq by dt. So if we use this here, then we can write dq by dt equals to minus n by r d phi by dt. If we bring dt here, then both dt will get cancelled, and what we'll get is dq equals to minus n by r d phi b. Now this is the small charge dq. If you want to find the total charge, then we will integrate it, and the total charge, let's say q, will be equals to integration of dq or integration of minus n by r d phi b we are integrating with respect to the magnetic flux, so that means the range will also be magnetic flux. So let us say that initial magnetic flux was 5b1 and minus was 5b2. So our integration will be done like this. So if you solve it, you will get minus n by r 5b2 minus 5b1, or if you remove this negative sign, if you take it inside the bracket, then it will be 5b1 minus 5b2. So this will be your induced charge. So these will be the value of induced current and induced charge. And as you can see, the important thing to notice here is that current, it is depending upon the rate of change of flux. Current is dependent on rate of change of flux, d phi b by dt, rate of change of flux. While here the induced charge, it does not depend upon the rate, it only depends in the change in flux, the subtraction, the difference of final magnetic flux and initial magnetic flux. So we can write Q is proportional to only to change in flux, not on the rate of change of flux, but just on the change in flux. So these are the important things that you should remember, and these formula we can use to find induced current and induced charge.